So what my dad used to do in the 80s and the 90s, he would play songs for me, the Indian. And he says, God gave her that song.
Wow.
For all the time you stood by me.
Yes.
He said that song could be sung to God.
Right.
My dad explained that to me. He was not a fan of the Beatles. A lot of artists he thought were maybe like demonic and stuff. And I was like, Daddy, can I show you what's going on here? And then he's like, it makes sense. So he changed my view. Because guess what I found out? You mentioned Andre Crouch. I grew up on Andre Crouch. You know what I mean? I grew up on Amy Grant, Michael W. Smith. That's the stuff. Imperials.
Right.
And the gospel music that the Imperials had, it just sounded like just records.
Right.
Amy Grant, I think, got bashed of being a backslider.
Right.
Because of, yeah. So what happens is, when I worked with this rapper that a lot of people know, his name is XXXTentacion. I'm in the studio working. He passed away here in Deerfield. He's the biggest rapper in South Florida. When he came to the studio, there's a video of him praying behind me in the studio. I didn't tell him anything about God in it. Didn't mention it. And every time I work with him, he'd pray. And I was like, what's happening here? I didn't curse around him. I don't do anything. I don't drink, none of that stuff. And it's just like he's seen that through me. Right. And I recognize that if I came to him religiously, it would turn him away.
Right.
I mean, Vybz Kartel he barely never voices curse songs for me.
Wow.
I have over maybe 50 Vybz Kartel hits.
Wow.
Tell Mommy I love her. He has even a Christian melody in Tell Mommy. Everybody have to know. Some people don't know. Oh, Jesus is. That's the end of part of it. But he took the melody.
Right.
As his life is also changing.
Right.
He prayed on Kai Sinet's podcast
a few
weeks ago.
I think the people in the church, and there's some unbelievers too who feel the same, they will discredit artists, whether they're songwriters, musicians, or singers, for singing any song outside of what we call Sunday worship experiences, right? So I grew up at a time, we're both from Jamaica, so we, grew up very traditional.
Yes.
So I grew up where you're Christians, and I know a lot of people are going to judge me for this, but please hear me out.
Yes.
We are Christians so holy 24 hours, 7 days a week. So before you just tweet that, or you just post that, that's what Henry's saying. Hear the conversation here.
Yes.
That sometimes we don't know how to balance our life.
Yes.
So for example, God gave you a talent to write, and you're a musician and so forth. I believe if I'm in a Sunday morning worship, I need to worship unto God. I need to tell God how I love him.
Yes.
That Sunday should be about him.
Yes.
So I devote that to him. Every morning I get up, I need to sing a song and worship unto him. But as a 42-year-old young man, if you start dating a young lady, you're gifted, a singer. Why are you going to go sing to that young lady a gospel song?
Yes.
Think about that.
Think about it, yes.
You're getting married. I've been at weddings where they are dancing after worship song.
Wow. And they're not really enjoying themselves.
I have a problem with that.
Yes.
And I know people are going to attack me. I really have a problem with that.
Yes.
Because there's a time and a place for everything. And there's nothing wrong if God gave you the talent and the ability to write lyrics to express my deepest affection.
It's all from him.
For the other person.
Yes, it's all from him.
That's it.
In church, I struggled in the 80s because I used to turn the songs into one-drop reggae. So before I got my mind made up reggae thing, I turned Blessings and Honor into one-drop. Reggae one-drop. The church that we're from is like, oh no.
Yeah, because it was reggae.
Why are you doing this?
Yeah, I remember.
And my dad is the one who also gave me that thing. He says, it's all coming from God. Go ahead.
Wow.
So the Rasta studio thing was a big thing at the time. And he's like, go ahead. And that gave me the confidence. So now Renwick Dewsbury is the first time I went on the Billboard charts, number 6, on the gospel Billboard chart. It's just a young man from my mom's church. And they said, hey, when are you going to do stuff for God? I said, let me show you. I'm going to do a record and show you. The same way I would market a secular record, we marketed the song, charted number 6.
Wow.
on the Gospel Billboard chart. I say, you see it? It's just God's same work that I'm doing.
Right.
If you ask me for it, most
Right.
Christians are limited. Oh, one day God is going to bless us. I was like, no, campaign like the secular guy. And you see how big that music
Right.
goes.
Wow. Wow.
Lauderdale has a song called You Say, viral on TikTok. Psalms 23 is on a big record that they campaign
Really?
viral on TikTok. This is why it's now becoming cool. People already is like, oh, I can talk about God now because it's
Right.
becoming cool.
Oh, right. Right.
It's naturally, people are now using the You Say song. It's not worship people are using it for. They're at their hospital bed with grandma and they play it. You know what I mean? They're feeding their dog that's sick
Right,
or whatever and
right,
they play
right,
it.
right.
So God is now involved
Right,
in our lives.
right,
And now when people backs against the wall, now is when they reach back.
Right.
What they grew up seeing and knowing
Because the words,
Yeah.
now I get it. There's some words
resonate.
that, when because I listen to some of the newer generation lyrics and I'm like, that don't make any sense.
Yeah.
I'm not quick to knock them because, I'm a 60-year-old guy. I can't think like a 20-year-old,
Yes.
a 25,
Yeah.
a 30. Because I remember when I was 20, I used to look at people who were 40
As old.
as if they're old-fashioned,
Yeah.
they're behind time.
way.
So
Yeah.
I'm not going to knock them.
Yes.
But I believe that, yes, we have the ability to look at certain lyrics and say, you know what, that's too far-fetched.
Yes.
I'm not even going to pay attention to that. But when you have songs and guys like you are gifted and talented,
Yes.
can help artists to perform or sing, to be able to express a song to a love to their mother.
Yes.
Mother's Day's coming up.
Yes.
And most people probably watching this will be after Mother's Day.
Yes.
But also a wedding. Guys like you're dating somebody.
Yes.
I think even the church, we've lost that romantic touch.
Yeah. The song I did with Renwick, I wanted it to be so exciting. Tell me if you're ready to go to another level. I was like, why the worship music got to be so sad? And that's the reason why I did that with him. It's a happy song. I did. And I decided that when I'm going to do this, and I'm doing it now, I'll show you another way. You know what I mean? So it can be cool and it can be clean.
Yeah.
And it can be of God.
Do
Not the religious.
Do you, and from Jamaica, I know
Yeah.
you must be going through a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you are breaking barriers.
Yes.
And a lot of the younger people, the millennials, they are looking for this. They want this.
Yes.
Do you find that you're still struggling with the older generation accepting what you're doing?
I'm so glad you asked that. See, my father, Hector Crawford, he played a pivotal role in my life. And my mother, Millicent, she supports him. I say, so you're going to let him go to the Rasta studio? And he says, yes. And she says, okay, you should know. So when they're the ones that when I hear they talk about me, my son is a producer and he does the thing and he does that. And people are like, I remember one day I spoke to one of the ministers from Jamaica. He's like, when are you going to do music for God? It's like, I am.
they actually said that
This
to
is
you.
all God's music. But then I recognize when Daddy gave me
Yes.
the signature on it and I see the impact that I'm having on the artist's life without me coming to them religiously.
Yeah.
Cartel pray every Sunday.
Yeah.
We talk about this extension in his last days was really turning himself around and people look at me different. Someone keep calling me pastor, a lady at the park. I said, why you call me that? She said, you wear a suit and you don't look like you dabble around. I was like, this is how I want God to flow through me. It's a conversation starter.
Right.
Why do you have on a suit? Why do you do this? How did you get that? God did it.
Now, you have how many followers on IG?
I have 1 million.
Okay,
followers.
now think about that. Because when you just talked about your suit and so forth, you're a huge influencer.
Yes.
Right? Over 1 million views.
Yes.
Our followers, I
yeah.
should say. You dress
Yeah.
very well.
Thank you.
You're in your suit. Because I follow you,
Yeah, I follow you
and,
too.
and I see all of the events, you're getting all these awards and everything like that. Why do you think your generation and even the younger ones are so drawn to you?
So what it is before the social media, I always like wearing well. My mom dresses well every day.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And I see it would, I just like wearing nice clothes. And then people always wonder, are you a drug dealer? Are you this? It used to happen to me in the early 2000s, driving a Range Rover. Every time I stop, I used to drive from New York to Florida a lot. So if I stop in North Carolina, the whites are like, what are you, man? What do you do? They don't see this before.
Right.
And I recognize that a person in the public eye, is it possible for us to be in the public and to be clean? Besides, I want to be clean. I want to not dabble and have 20 girlfriends. I don't want to do that. I want to be clean. So, because I used to struggle with what if somebody from a church sees me and I go online and I do this bad thing and this thing. So I was like, but it's nice to be clean.
Wow.
You know what I mean? It's nice to be in a club.
Nice to be clean.
Yeah, a club where everybody's doing the crazy stuff and drinking, and I'm just like, I don't want to take drugs here. I don't want to do that at all. And I decided that it can be done. So now with the social media, it's a bigger conversation starter. So I decided that I'm going to stay looking this way all the time, drive a nice vehicle, speak to them. How did you get this? Did you do drugs? They said, no, God did it. How? Read this.